Hi there, this is Celtic Ogham reading 840 for UDL or Facebook initials CL. You asked me specifically about your husband's health, and we talked about the ethics of me being able to do that and how we can go around that, and also about that you've just left your job and you know what's going to occur for you in the future. So we'll have a look at that as well, and most of that information will come from these four here, but I like to start here and work our way around because it gives me some context and it also helps you to better understand as well how the Oghams work. So we'll start here with this Ogham view here, and this is pine or allium, and this themes your whole reading. It's in the position of theming your whole reading, and pine is very much about looking at the bigger picture. It's about no longer sweating on the small stuff and really beginning to plan forward longer term, so not getting too wrapped up and worried about things that may not be going the way you want them to, but really setting your plans in motion, putting the targets in place, and working forwards with that. And no doubt we will pick up on that a few times as we go through this reading. This one over here is elder or fian, and this is in the position that themes your last 12 months or so. I get the sense though that it's less than that, particularly around your job, leaving your job, whilst that's been on your mind for a while. The last 3 to 6 months has been the real crucial time when you've had to make the decision to do that, and also in terms of your husband's health as well. While often these ones over here that are about the last 12 months or so for you, I get the sense that it's a much shorter time frame than that. 3 to 6 months has been the time when your lives have changed quite dramatically. And elder or fian is very much about seeking advice. It's about seeking medical advice, it's about seeking legal advice, it's about seeking practical advice, it's about getting support. And Alder tells me that this, particularly again in the last 6 months, has been a time when you have needed an awful lot of support and encouragement and information. He's telling me, Alder is telling me, information. You want more information, and particularly around your husband's health as well, that hasn't been forthcoming in many occasions. And what he's saying to me is that's not about people holding information back necessarily, but it's about two things. First of all, it's about the medical fraternity not wanting to bombard you with technical terminology, I suppose, but you are very capable of understanding that technical terminology and utilising it in a way that can help you to help your husband. But secondly, it's also, I'm being told here by Alder that there's quite a degree of the unknown, particularly in terms of your partner's health, and that his prognosis is unknown. The length of time for him to recover or otherwise is unknown. That there's an awful lot of unknowns in all of this as well. That's coming through quite strongly. Here we have elder or ruas, and this is traditionally, this is about shame or regret. For you, we've got willow or sail sitting underneath here as well, and when you put these two together for the last few months, what they're saying here is that you have a really good intuitive gift. That's this one here, a really good intuitive gift, particularly for sensing and feeling when other people are unwell. So in your role as a massage therapist, yeah, sure, as a massage therapist myself, I can fully understand that when you are doing effleurage or whatever it might be on a patient, you can feel muscle soreness and, you know, soft tissue damage. But for you, it's a little bit more than that. It's not just about medically feeling it, it's about sensing it. And you have a really great capacity to do that. However, you lose patience with yourself and with other people. You don't always accept the gift that you have, and you question that quite an awful lot. So that's what those two are really kind of saying. You're second guessing yourself, I guess, for the want of a better phrase. Then this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Ogham stave in the middle. This is Heather, or Ur. Beautiful, beautiful stave, one of my favourite staves. And this is sitting in the position of what's happening for you right now. And this is about love, partnership, caring, sharing, companionship. But there's always a but, isn't there? It's actually upside down. And what it's saying to me, what I can sense very much, is that at the moment your relationship, while the pair of you love each other very dearly, clearly that's the case, there are masses of strains between you. There's tension. There's again the sense of the unknown. You know, this talked here about not having enough information to make decisions on, and big holes in information, if you like. You know, it would be much easier for you if it was very clearly set out that this is going to happen and this is going to happen and this is going to happen, particularly in terms of your husband's health. But that's not the case, and that has been and continues to put a strain on your relationship. Your partner is feeling, there's a degree of worthlessness that he feels at the moment, and there's a degree of letting you down, but you are feeling the same, and impatience is something that keeps coming through there a little bit. What Heather is saying very strongly, though, is that you both have the capacity to really make the best of the situation. And as long as you can both hold on to the fact that your relationship has been strong, then that's an important factor for you. Now, these are the ones that we really want to focus on. So this is Muin or Vine. I love this one here. And this is about, this is theming your next 12 months or so. And this is about outcomes. It's about reward. It's about reaping what you sow. Now, a bit of a double-edged sword, this one, of course, because whatever seeds you sow is the harvest that you will reap. And if you don't sow any seeds, you don't get any harvest. If you sow poor quality seeds, then you get poor quality harvest. If you sow really good seeds, then you get really good harvest. So what Muin is saying is that for you and your partner, this is very much a joint issue, that as long as you support one another, the outcome will be okay. As long as you continue to remain positive, the outcome will be okay. As long as you continue to put clear steps ahead, the future is going to be okay. And it's very strongly linked with this one here, which is about targets. Now for you, I know you're going to say to me, but we can't make goals because we don't know what's going to happen. Yep, but Muin clearly says there are some goals that you can make, i.e. you can make goals that say regardless of what our health currently is, we can promise to continue to support one another and communicate with each other. Okay, so you can make that goal. Number two, you can say that even though we're unaware of what our financial situation will be, we know that our priorities lay in our housing and in our food and in our utility bills, for instance, and that will be where we will sink the majority of our money, for argument's sake. You can also make goals around your spirituality if that's important for you. So I will honour my spirituality over the next 12 months. In terms of health, for you personally, you can be saying things like, I will honour my body by making sure that I eat well, that I take enough exercise and that I balance my lifestyle so that there is a little bit of me time as well as caring for other people as well. So whilst it is difficult for you at the moment to make those plans that Pine talked about here, those long-term plans, there are plans that you can make, and you need to make them jointly. It's not just about your plans. Ewan talks very, very clearly about, as does Heather here, very, very clearly that the both of you need to sit down with a pen and paper and say, in 12 months' time, this is where we will live, this is how we will live, this is how we're going to feel, this is what the bank account's going to look like, this is what we will own, this is how we will be working, this is how we will be communicating. You know, the big picture stuff is what you can still focus on. And Ewan talks about that very strongly, that if you have goals to work towards, then you are in a much better position to remain positive and motivated and looking forward, instead of, as this one does here, looking back and saying, oh, I wish we'd have done this, and I wish we'd have done that, and we should have done that, and I should have said this, and I should have done that. So you want none of that looking back and the regretting stuff, and instead you need to be looking forward, but you need to be having that little list of goals, big picture goals, so that you've got something to move forward to. Now, sitting over the top, I'm actually going to go, I'm going to put these two together for you, and I'll talk about them briefly, and I'll talk about that one, and then we'll pull it all together. So underneath here we have Dewar or Oak, and this is about hard work, determination, dedication, loyalty. Oak is very much about work ethic. It's about working and working and working and working and working. It's about giving and giving and giving to other people, and I can see that in the next 12 months you will tend to do that an awful lot. You will do an awful lot of giving, and that's okay, and you do that because it's an ethical stand of yours to do so. But it's also really important in the next 12 months that you also balance that. We talked about that a little bit here, because Oak tends to snap, not bend. It's not like Willow, which is this one here, that was flexible. You will have a tendency to burn out. So you must take care of your own health in the next year ahead. And this one on top is Aspen, and this is about, often it's about fear, it's about hesitancy. And at the moment I get the very strong impression that whilst you know, you've got this need to be planning ahead, and for you it's about information, there's an awful lot of fear and trepidation and worry and concern about where you're going to be and what's going to happen in terms of where you live and how you're going to pay bills, and whilst money is a shit of a thing to have to deal with when there are other intangible but more important things to think about in terms of health and so forth, the fact remains that money is the token that enables you to have choices about what happens. So it is as important, and I can sense through this that that's going to be a bit of a worry for you in the coming year. Engator here, or broom, is very much about sweeping away old goals, old targets, old behaviours, old worries, old concerns, even people that don't suit you, that are not serving you anymore, and instead to align yourself with people who support those goals that you want to put in place, who give you the information that you need, who give you the support, the encouragement and the motivation that you need, and who help to prop you up. It's also about putting in place new behaviours. It's about putting in place new targets and goals. You know, this keeps coming here. But in order to do that, you have to let go of the old stuff. And you've been hanging on, like grim death to the old kind of goals that you had. The old goals and stuff that you had, because they were important for you. Of course they were important for you. But the situation has changed, and as a result of that you need to have new goals. And Engator or broom is very much about saying let things go, let it go, so that you can have new space for new things to come in. So let's kind of put all that together and I guess kind of more answer the questions that you asked. Your husband's health what I see over the next 12 months is not a great deal of improvement. You didn't tell me what was wrong with his health or where it's going, but and the word degeneration keeps coming into my head, but that doesn't mean to say that, you know, his health is just going to fall through the floor. That's not what I was saying as well at all. But what I do keep hearing is that it's about long, slow. There's none of this absolute getting better or getting worse, but it's a very status quo kind of year ahead. And that's okay, because that will give you the opportunity to take a bit of a breather, to step back and look again at, okay, well, what do we want to achieve? Remember this one here. For you, remember I talked about ethically, I cannot talk about or access his energy, for the want of a better phrase, to really talk about him necessarily, but I can talk about you and the way that you cope. Now, it's very important, and this comes up here with this one here, oak. Really, really important to balance yourself, to take care of your health. Very, very important that you take time out to care for you. It's also incredibly important that you seek the support of experts in that field, and that you take on board any offers to help. You delegate whenever you possibly can. So you give tasks to other people to do, so that you can free yourself up to do the more important tasks, which include, and I cannot emphasize this enough, include looking after you. It's not just about looking after other people and your husband, because that's your tendency. This talks very much about your tendency is to support other people and to help other people and to give to other people. And as a massage therapist, that's part of what you do. That's part of that manifestation. You know, it's about caring for other people. Fantastic. Very, very moral and ethical and all of that kind of stuff. But you are equally as important. So this coming year, you are going to be very tired. You need sleep. You need to eat well. You need to stop eating sugar, refined sugar, as much as you possibly can. Look at some of those foods that drain you and remove those. I'm being told sometimes you have a skin rashes, skin pimples, skin lesions, skin something, and also joints for you. So really take a great deal of care of what you eat in this coming year, and take that time out that you need. That's important. Ask for information from experts. Ask them to give you research documentation that supports treatment options that they want to put in place for your partner, or where they choose not to put treatment options in place for your partner. Ask them for information about that as well. Also, what I'm hearing here is that time for you has changed. Oh, what the heck does that mean? What they're saying to me was that there used to be time to go to work, and there used to be time to do this, and there used to be time to do that, and that whole kind of concept for you of organising your day has changed totally. There are different priorities, there are different things that take up your time now, and what they're saying is that there needs to be a different way for you to earn money, and it's not about working for other people anymore. It's about you finding a way that you can support yourself financially without the need to meet other people's agendas. So is there an opportunity for you to work from home as a massage therapist, for instance? Is there an opportunity for you to teach as well, they're saying, but that you make your own hours? So is that potentially about starting up a class, teaching parents how to do baby massage, for instance, so that you can say, right, well, this class will be at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on a Monday and a Friday night, or, you know, whatever. What I'm saying here is that you have a much greater control over when you can work. And they're saying very, very much that it's a fantastic way for you to generate some income that you need, But also they're saying to me that it's also a way for you to continue to maintain your skills, but also more than that, they're saying it's a way for you to maintain a form of self-esteem about your contribution to community. So they're saying very, very much, please think about teaching workshops, you know, maybe weekend workshops, 101 massage, or not necessarily, you know, the more in-depth sports massage or something or other, but relaxing autistic children, for instance, with massage. So they're really encouraging you to look at the kind of workshops that you can do to teach, so that you can work around your own time. Now, I wanted to talk to you also about your Druid Oracle card. And I really love this card. It's Otter. He's one of my favourites, actually. Otter, or Doberan. He's a representative of both the emotion within water, because, you know, he's an awful lot in water, but he's also on land a fair bit as well, so which is around home, it's around resources, it's around security. So he kind of works between those two, so the safety and the stability of earth, but the emotionality of water, and that is a bit of a struggle sometimes as well, in terms of the financial versus the need for other people. You know, we talked a little bit about that here as well. Otter cares passionately about other people, and we can see that with Oak as well. You care passionately about other people. But Otter is also very sensible, is very, very dependable, which is what Oak is all about as well. You know, if anybody wants anything done, they're going to ask you to do that. And you need to learn to say no as well in this coming year. But Otter is also playful, he's flexible, he kind of goes with the flow a little bit. So you've given up your job just recently because there was a need for you to do so, change, and which is what Engator is all about as well, and that you're beginning to embrace the new changes that need to come on board. Otter asks you as well to just relax a little bit. Just have a little bit of me time, and I asked you to do that as well here. It's about balancing your life, so it's not all about working, it's about also finding the time for you as well. He's also about progression, or I guess if you like, the gateway to your psychic gifts, which I talked about here. You've got some really good intuitive gifts, and I'm going to ask you in the coming year to spend a lot more time working on that, practicing on that, listening to that intuition, develop it, grow it, because you can actually use that an awful lot when you're teaching workshops as well. So you might want to be teaching workshops, I'm assuming this interests you, I don't know, but how to use crystals in massage, you know, because that's a kind of a welding, if you like, of the intuitive with the skill that you have. So chakra, clearing the chakra with massage and using crystals as part of that, you know, all of that, kind of be really creative, and that's what Otter is all about. And because he eats salmon, you can see salmon here, he's very wise. So the year ahead for you is one where you make massive changes, and you kind of have this huge sideways shift from just being a massage therapist, which is fantastic, to also now teaching and incorporating other things in that practice, and then giving those skills to other people. It's about supporting your partner as he goes through the next year with his health, but making sure that you maintain your health as well. So Otter, I really love Otter. He's absolutely one of my favourites. And then I wanted to talk to you about your Celtic birth tree, which is this one here. This is ivy or gort, and this has a massive relationship with Dewar. Oak is about work and work and work and work, but it's from an ethical viewpoint. Ivy is also about work and work and work and work, but from a survival viewpoint. and it's resourceful. So we can tell here that you are incredibly resourceful, you're flexible, you're willing to change. But underneath as well, you tend to put on a brave smile for the rest of the world, but underneath you tend to be a little bit unhappy, and you don't always show that to other people as well. And this year is a year when you need to seek that support from other people so that you're not taking it all on your shoulders. Ivy people stay afloat though, they survive, and you will survive the changes that have occurred. You will come out the other end, and we know you will, because if you're positive, clearly you will. It's a struggle and it's going to be a pain in the proverbial, but you will get through it. And so Ivy people are very strong, very, very strong people. So that is your Celtic Ogham reading. I hope that that gives you a little bit more encouragement, I guess, for the year ahead, to know that whilst it might be hard work, you're going to be okay, and there are going to be massive changes for you in terms of work, and it will be a year that you'll come out of the other end and say, well, we did it, we were okay.